I'm Dr. Scott Lyons, and you're watching or listening to The Gently Used Human. Have you ever witnessed the transformative power of a single swipe of bold lipstick, or found yourself wondering how TikTok turned the sunburn into the latest beauty trend? Have you ever found yourself in the debate of whether makeup is a repressive and exploitative device or a transformative power of self-expression? Is it hurting our mental health or unlocking our creativity? Well, these are the questions we dive into with my special guest, Carrie Barber, the visionary behind Make Beauty, who has also created pigment magic with icons like Glossier, Sephora, and New Beauty. Carrie's journey is a testament to merging innovation with a conscious ethos. Through her lens, we see beauty that's not just skin deep, but also plant kind. Through her lens, we see beauty that's not just skin deep, but also planet kind, pushing boundaries in clean cosmetics and pioneering the use of lab-engineered natural ingredients. Together, we'll navigate the vibrant spectrum of beauty entrepreneurship, explore the pulsating world of trends in the digital age, and dive into the profound interplay between beauty, mental well-being, and self-acceptance. Carrie also reveals her inspiring story of how her learning disabilities pushed her to think outside the box, allowing millions of people to find their expression. Let's get this started. Well, Carrie, welcome to The Gently Used Human. We're so glad to have you. Oh, such a pleasure. Such a pleasure. I like to start my show every week with asking the guest this question. Did you have a dream about me last night?
Funny you should mention that. I did. Yeah, I had a dream that we had a full day of therapy, that this just turned into like an all-day therapy session.
And how was it? What was the therapy like?
It was, I remember waking up feeling like, oh, I really needed that. So I'm going to assume that it was really good and super helpful.
Amazing. Do you remember some of the subjects we might have broached in our all-day therapy session / dream?
I'm sure it was every topic, but I don't specifically remember which topics. There's a few on top of my mind that I'm sure we would have talked about, but
Are any of them in the realm of entrepreneurship?
Some of those. Yes.
Oh, okay.
And dating.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Okay, we'll get to that.
And just probably I don't know, I'm going through a big transition period, which is strange because I'm usually really certain about things. Mm-hmm. I usually feel pretty good and resolved with a lot of things, even if it's chaotic or stressful, but right now I'm kind of just so it's probably that's seeping into my dreams. So.
That's interesting because you're, I would call a serial entrepreneur. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think I'm at the beginning of that journey. You're
at the beginning of the journey. You've been doing it for a while in some degree. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm excited to talk to you about entrepreneurship and your journey through it. And I find it's interesting that you're saying in the transition, because I'm is there any point in entrepreneurship where it doesn't feel like you're on the roller coaster of hell / precipice of shitstorm / transition? Yeah. And it's so it's interesting that maybe it sounds like there's a resilience to it in other times. And right now there's something that just kind of tips it over the edge of capacity.
Yeah, I think entrepreneurship is kind of a mentality, and it requires a lot of surrender and also a lot of emotion, but at a pretty stable level, because all the things that happen, I learned this pretty early on, if something goes wrong, which it always does, no matter what, you can't let that pull you in. You can't let it bring you down. I think it's important to spend time with the mistakes you make or spend time celebrating the big wins that you have. But then it's you have to okay, great. Like moving on, I have work to do kind of thing. And
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's like the mindfulness of entrepreneurship.
Yeah, exactly. I think, and it just requires a lot of like trust in knowing that you're going to figure it out, which a lot of people, even friends of mine who are starting businesses, like don't necessarily have. And it's hard for me to relate because they just like wallow in the things that happen. And I'm like, that would motivate me to figure out a solution and to get creative. And like, I really trust that I'll figure it out. And I have a good team of people around me who I trust to help me figure it out, or maybe they'll figure it out. But it also requires so much stamina, which is another thing that I didn't really anticipate, I think, when I started my brand. And right now I'm at a level of 0 stamina. So I think that's like affecting my mood, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'm curious. Okay, so let's go back to like, you talked about a level of like trust and recognizing that challenge is a place of growth for you. Like it's been like, okay, this is where we get creative. We bump up against a wall. We learn to build a staircase or something like that. And it's like, where did you learn that? Because I don't know if that's innate in all of us.
Yeah. Well, my dad was an entrepreneur, and I think that both of my parents were very good at sort of being like, you'll figure something out. And I was always the kid who was like going to do it different, you know, and figure out, I'm like, okay, I'll learn how they're doing it. And I'll like, you know, I'll take what I want from that. And then I'm going to figure out my way of doing something.
Yeah.
And my dad, you know, was just really creative in terms of problem solving. And so I think that's probably early where that came from. But then my business partner, Ben, is also that way. And I think just being able to be around him and see how calm and collected he is about figuring out solutions to problems that to me in the beginning were catastrophic. And he's just so like, okay, what are the options? And then, you know, just being around an environment where people are like, okay, well, what if we tried this? And then someone will be like, what if we did that and this? You know, and I think I've been around a lot of like founders and entrepreneurs also. And you just kind of see that in a lot of ways, you don't really have a choice because you have to figure something out. And I just also have this like innate sense that things will work out and that all of us are trying to do that. And, you know, for the most part, everything is figure outable. It's kind of, I think there's a book about that I haven't read, but I'm like, that's a good.
It's called like Everything is Figure Outable. Yeah, no, I've read that book. I appreciate that. I'm an entrepreneur too. It is tough. And like, and I think almost all the patients I've ever worked with to some degree are entrepreneurs. Like, I think that there's probably a magnetism there. And I have to say, I've learned a lot from being the therapist in that situation. I've learned a lot from being a consultant and coming into companies and navigating how to support this creative process, because it's hard. A lot of us run into walls and then we just lie down and tend to the nosebleed and yell at the wall and like, who put the fucking wall there? And like, and start to fight with the wall. And then you're like, oh wait, if I turn to my left, there's actually a doorway.
Right. Yeah.
Can you give me a specific example? Because you were talking about Ben, your business partner, of like how when someone models that sort of creative genesis, creative problem solving, how it starts to, I don't know, transfer over to you as being around it. So maybe if you give us like an example, we might be able to absorb it too.
I think that, so the way that we sort of run our business is like we have a super small team of people that do a lot of different things, and we move at such a quick pace, which is what I think makes our sort of business model very successful. However, it requires so much of people, and also like we move really fast that we make a lot of mistakes. And I think something that, that I really admire about our team is like, okay, let's say that we like misspelled a word on packaging. It's like, okay, it happens. I used to be such a perfectionist, and I still am, but it sort of gets in the way now of being able to work. So now it's just kind of like, okay, great. That happened. We will reprint it spelled correctly next time. And what are the ways, like, what can we learn from the mistakes that we've made? And like almost like really pick those things apart and try to understand how we won't make those same mistakes moving forward. Because I think that's where a lot of success comes from is we're all going to make mistakes. Yeah. Things are going to go wrong. And if you like, if you're not like, oh, oops, I spelled something wrong, I'm just going to forget about it. You're not learning from that thing. And then you get to sort of, people come together and we figure out new systems for making sure that it's spell checked or, things like that. I sort of also think that when you collaborate with a team that is working on some sort of every aspect of the business, you sort of like have someone's solution, another person's solution, and then when you come together, you create like a third solution. Mm-hmm. So I don't know that that's super specific, but it's, right now we're going through, trying to figure out what we're launching next year, trying to figure out creative ways to buy packaging for certain things. But, there's like a 20,000 like minimum order quantity, and Make is not selling at that volume right now. So we were trying to figure out, how can we, buy what we need and then deco it for a certain thing, but use it later? Or can we buy 20 of those jars and 4 different colored caps, trying to figure out ways. And while we were doing that, we ended up deciding that we wanted to launch different flavors of one of our products because we started with this like limiting MOQ that we couldn't fulfill. Yeah. And then we're like, oh, colored caps. Oh, flavors. Oh, and I was really excited. And we hadn't even planned on that. It happened in 10 minutes.
Wow. This is your edible lipstick line, right?
This is, I don't, I actually don't have it.
Do you have an edible line?
No. It's like our lip mask. I don't.
Your
have
lip
one
mask.
here.
Oh, that was a good guess then.
Yeah, it's also so yummy that you could eat it. I mean, you
I'm going
eat
to
any makeup, but
I mean, it's vegan and gluten. Most of your stuff is vegan and gluten free, right?
Yeah,
so I'm
clean.
I'm good to go.
Gluten free. Yeah.
I would like to be a taste tester of your lip gloss.
I'll send it.
A barrel. I just want barrels. I want to bathe in it and I want to eat it. Same. I want to put it on my like squash as a decorative flavor. I want to take a moment to give a loud shout out to the Embody Lab, which is one of the most incredible resources for body-based and somatic therapies. This show is all about healing, and the Embody Lab does exactly that. Whether you're on your own journey of transformation and discovery, or enhancing your skill sets in your career as like a coach or a therapist, a body worker, or really any career where you are supporting other gently used humans, the Embody Lab is your place for deep, inspiring, and impactful workshops, certificates, masterclasses, and an incredible community of like-minded folks. I love the Embody Lab, and so do so many other people that call it a platform to come home to over and over again. The Embody Lab is giving my listeners an exclusive offer, a one-time 10% off code to enhance your embodied well-being. All you have to do is go to theembodylab.com and use the code GentlyUse10 at checkout. How do you assess what the future is going to look like? Because you've been doing this for years. Like that's been part of your job, right? Whether it's your company or others. Yeah.
I actually think that we're in a really interesting moment right now with trends because multiple people have asked me what I think fall trends are going to be. And I'm just like, how am I supposed to know that? Because
we're here in the fall. No, I'm just kidding.
It's like, it used to kind of be like, okay, there's sort of like a reliable trend, of things coming back, like Y2K, for example, things that are sort of decades old that come back and get modernized. Or I think like pre-social media and specifically pre-TikTok, it was much easier to be like, we're going to predict, these colors and these kinds of looks, but now everything moves so quickly and there's a new trend like every 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
So, like with beauty, it was like, oh, latte makeup and, or strawberry girl makeup, which is really just like the fake sunburn that was trending last summer. Oh. So I'm just kind of like...
Wait. A fake sunburn was all the rage?
Yeah. There was a moment where, like people were putting blush on their noses, which it brightens your eyes and it kind of gives you more youthful appearance. And then it just started to kind of do like more. So it's like, it's like you're really bronzy and it looks like you've just sat out in the sun like for 20 minutes too long, but it's very youthful and it's glowy and it was really cute. I really liked it. But then that came back around.
Did everyone look like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? Like what did it look like?
It's really balanced.
I'll
send you a photo. It's really balanced. It's just kind of like, it's like you spent all summer outside and you're like relaxed and you had a lot of fun and that's kind of how it made me feel.
Wow. And like, are you saying like those trends are now like starting more on social media or starting on TikTok and moving so quickly through? Yeah,
so they're just moving so quickly. And I think too that there's also just, now we see so much that it's like there's not one identical, there's not like one trend or a certain kind of makeup that I think I'm like, oh, that's going to be a trend next year.
Wow.
And it's just, we're at this kind of like expansive, like just constant newness moment that, when someone's like, what do you think is going to trend for looks next year? I'm like, I don't know what's going to trend next week. But I think like, because, and now it's just like, everyone is being so many more people are online and makeup is so popular on social media that there's so many like individual takes, and of course there's the makeup artists who, like the makeup artists who I still think identify trends, but I think they're more concepts. Like I was trying to think of, how some things I was thinking of were like things that don't go together. Like a blue eyeshadow and like a rusty red lip is something that I saw that I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. I would never do that. And sort of like, I also still think like makeup is going to hit this like maximalist point where it's been minimal and no makeup for so long that now it's just, I see so much. And then also I feel like a refinement of classic things, like a red lip or black eyeliner or just things like, in terms of looks, those being trends. But, with like larger concepts, like maybe ingredients or we talk a lot about this. Actually, we talked about it yesterday at my office we use a lot of biotech ingredients. Yeah. Which,
is that like peptides or what's included in biotech?
So biotech is like a lab engineered like ingredient. So, using, for example, like a plant squalene rather than using squalene from a shark fin as one example. So basically like...
On behalf of all the sharks.
I know. But you can take like you can take that, what the like squalene comes from sharks and you can genetically create that in a lab from certain plants or... it's we call it lab engineered natural ingredients, or Lenny. So, there's a lot of benefits to taking an ingredient, cloning it. It's identical, It's better for the environment, it's better for your skin. It's a more stable ingredient. You can make less of it. But also things like upcycling ingredients or, advancements in pigment. Like we have a concealer that's skin mimetic. So the pigment, I have a light cool shade, and I'll put concealer on sometimes and I watch it change to, if I don't get in the sun very much, but if I do, it's adjusting to mimic the pigment in my skin.
Wow.
So things like that. Like I think just in terms of beauty trends, like better ingredients, more advanced, like, infusing powders with skincare or creating, powder that's talc free, which is really challenging. But the technology and the advancements in, creating makeup is there. And so I think that those things are going to start to be trends where people are using technology to create, just better formulas and better pigments. But other than that, I don't really know how to predict trends.
Wow. Well, I mean, I find it so interesting what you're saying is like how our urgency culture, like the very like short attention span, which is part of urgency culture or interruption attentional culture. And it's like being mimicked in trends. Like what might have lasted months or a whole season before is now ending in a week or two. I mean, on one hand, like so cool, all this creative genesis, but on the other hand, like sounds chaotic as shit.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels a little chaotic, especially when, someone's like, what are the trends? I'm like, I don't know. I can't even open TikTok without, being like, oh, that trend, I haven't even seen that. Oh my gosh. And then of course the urgency, like you're saying, it's like, oh, if I don't get on TikTok in one day and do martini makeup, which is another thing, I was like, what?
What the fuck is that?
What?
What's martini makeup?
It's olive green. It's an olive green eye look, it's like fun and I think it's cute. Yeah. Those are like fun, cute things. And of course, if someone's like, oh, like yesterday I did a red wine thing and I was like, that's easy. Great, moving on. Like, gives me some content. But I think too, there's, if you're online and my partner Ben is actually really good at this.
Yeah.
He just pays attention and in such a focused way, he'll hone in on one thing. For example, like derm skincare. A few years ago, he was like, I think that's going to start to be really popular because skincare is such a Wild West sort of category. And derms are doctors. They give validation to these formulas. And I think that's really important. One thing that I think is super important in the beauty industry is trust. And if you have someone who's validating what you're doing and you trust them, they give authority, like those, you get those customers, they're sort of lifers with you if you, gain their trust. So,
that's
but
interesting.
I don't know, it's just, who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, I both appreciate that and then it requires that much extra work. I mean, like anxiety is the discomfort for the unknown and we're in the constant unknown. And so it's like that sensation of anxiety that we get is like, okay, we've lost the capacity to surf the unknown, to like ride the fluctuating waves of what the fuck is going on, or I don't know, or just like the mysteriousness of life or trends or whatever it is in any field.
Yeah.
But it's in this fast moving thing. It's like, I don't know about you, but as things speed up, I slow down. Was creativity always something that was just available to you? Or is this something that's like a developed capacity?
I think that it's definitely something that's always been a part of me. I was a very hyper child. I had, creative parents, and they gave me a lot of space to sort of just like try things out and be, who I was. And also I was really dyslexic growing up, and I didn't learn how to read until I had a third grade reading level in high school.
Wow.
So I, had to fake a lot of things and be really creative in terms of how I learn.
Yeah.
And I think when especially when you're younger, there's so much focus on being smart and doing well in school. And I've never really been that interested in that. So, I had a lot of energy, so I was an athlete. And then I also was just creative because that was something no one was like scoring me on that. I got to just try things out. There was no right or wrong. It was not something that I had to read or write. And those things just really helped me, I think, feel good about myself and distract from the fact that like no one figured out that I was dyslexic until I was in high school. So I've always been creative, and I think that I also am like I'm the kind of creative who like really thinks of like big concepts, and I'm a big dreamer, and I'm a romantic, and that's always kind of been my thing. And then I think some people have called me a tastemaker, which I don't disagree with, but I also like can't describe like what that is exactly, other than I just like have an eye. I have good taste. It's like this innate thing that I've gotten much better at, but I've always kind of had it.
Wow.
And I don't, that's just a God-given gift, I guess.
Yeah. I love that. And I really hear the link too of like when you're talking about like the challenge of, learning difficulties early on and being like, you could have just collapsed to it. But some conditions, some resources, something allowed you to be like, or I'll get creative, which is just like, going to the gym of creativity over and over again until you've really built that muscle up, which then look at you now as like working in all of these major companies as an art director, as like, like identifying trends and helping the future of the whole industry. Like, I think that's amazing. Yeah,
I think I've listened to a lot of podcasts about entrepreneurs who are dyslexic, and Richard Branson is one I can think of off the top of my head. And it just like gives you, especially when you don't know that you're dyslexic, and also it was so severe. I mean, I like couldn't read or write, and my parents are like, you're smart, and I don't understand why you're failing in school. And I think it just it gave me this sort of like tenacity and this like motivation to prove people like I am smart. And I'm going to prove you otherwise, and I'm going to figure out ways to like prove that I'm smart because so I can't read a book, but I can do a lot of other things. And maybe that's where the sort of that like entrepreneur mindset comes from, because you're just like, who said I have to do it that way?
Exactly. I love that. And I resonate so deeply. I had pretty severe dyslexia too as a kid, and was told I would never even graduate high school. And I overheard a neuropsychologist tell my mom just how dumb I was. And like, just, like shit that like, but again, it's like, I feel so grateful that I'm like, then fuck it, I'll find my own way and I'll get creative. And, when I was in grad school, like I would have teachers email me and they're like, I read what you wrote and I'm pretty confused because when you speak in class, you're so articulate. Is there something going on in your writing? And I'm like, no. That's fine. And like, and then I would approach them and be like, instead of writing all these papers, can I have the conversations with you to prove I've done the reading and, and you do, or can I make a dance show? Like, I'll make a fucking interpretive dance around some cognitive, neurocognitive psychology subject matter. Like, I don't give a shit. I'm, when I did one of my dissertations in public health on the Tuskegee syphilis study, which is not the sexiest subject by any means, but they allowed me to do it as a dance show. As my final dissertation, amazing. Which was so generous because I just I couldn't organize in that traditional way.
Yeah.
The dance show was not that great either, but it was creative.
At least you tried. Yeah,
I did try to make syphilis a interesting dance theme, but onward. Yeah. So one of the other things I really wanted to chat with you about today was like the link that you've explored between like mental health and the psychology of beauty.
I think that something that's really important to me now and something I've always found in beauty is that it's so much more expressive than something like fashion, for example. When I was in college, I thought that I wanted to make fashion films or for a second, I thought I wanted to be a fashion designer, but I actually didn't want to do that. And I just felt like that the energy in the fashion industry and, again, this was 15 years ago, so I think it's all sort of different, but it was just like this pressure and this certain expectation of how you should look and how you should be. And I'm just not that person. And I think with beauty, I felt like there was still like an editorial fashion aspect to it, but there was just so much more space and expression it just felt different to me. And I also found through beauty this emotional connection because I was very shy up until like 3 years ago. Oh. Like social anxiety, didn't even want to go out into public to like have to go to the grocery store. And thank God for like Instacart and Uber Eats postmates.
The Gently Used Human, brought to you by Instacart. I'm just kidding. I just like when people name drop things like that. I'm like, brought to you by...
Not sponsored.
No, sponsored, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. But not saying no.
Sorry. So just 3 years ago, all of this was present. Wow.
I don't know. I was such a perfectionist and I was also so concerned about like the, how I looked and how I acted. And if I didn't know something, I didn't want to feel stupid. So I just avoided it for the most part. But I have always found connection through beauty products, like specifically products. And I think there's such like a magical thing that happens when like, say you're at a Sephora and, you're both looking at a mascara and someone's like, that's the best mascara I've ever used. And I'm like, what? And then you start talking to a stranger and it gives you this common ground that I think is so special. And there's such a shared connection over an obsession with products that make you feel good. And that is something that I think has kept me in beauty. There's so many friends that I have that are actual friends that I've met through the beauty industry that, I can sit and talk with hours for someone I don't know about product because these products like make us feel good. And I think, on the one hand, creating, like one of the reasons that we're doing what we're doing is because we want to create products that people like can know are going to make them feel good. It sort of sounds superficial, but like there is so much power there. And there's nothing wrong with using a product, skincare or beauty product to make you feel better. Yeah. Like when I'm in a bad mood or I don't feel good or need a little moment of meditation, I'm going to do my makeup. Like those things really, there is a power there. It's not superficial. And, I think the beauty industry is so much less now about changing your appearance or all looking one way or, it's not about fixing and changing. It's about like enhancing and feeling good.
I really appreciated what you said because, when I'm talking about that tension behind like beauty products offering confidence and beauty products, like on the other side of it, like beauty products creating dysmorphia or like, that sort of tension between the two of like, And I appreciate the framework you're saying around like, look, it part of even a brand choice is to go shift from this will make you prettier as though you weren't already special and important and valued versus like, here's something that is a extension of you, an exaggeration, a play, an expression of you in the diversity that you are that is actually recognized and celebrated. And I think that's such a different, important mentality that doesn't also then shame people for wanting to wear makeup, because that doesn't work either.
No.
No.
And I think this concept is really prevalent in the clean beauty space and also in anti-aging. Yeah. So there are definitely ingredients and technology and expensive products that make your skin look and feel better.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, if you have wrinkles, you have wrinkles.
Yeah.
It's just the reality. And I think too, like when I worked at Violet Grey and I would write some stories about getting filler and about getting Botox and you know, something that was so annoying to me was like celebrities who are like, I haven't had any work done, just Botox. I'm like, girl, what?
Girl, we went together.
No. Yeah, I saw you there. You know, and it's like, again, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Like, again, too, if people get plastic surgery, I'm all about it. If you want to change, if you want to do something that's going to make you feel better, by all means, I support that.
Was something interesting because I'm being interviewed about this tomorrow, and it's like of the plastic surgery. I think we have this conception that people who go into plastic surgery or get filler or Botox that they have some type of mental pathology, and the reality is only about 15% of those who are getting plastic surgery have a classified diagnosis of dysmorphia. 15, and so like. Can we, you know, I find I'm interested in, again, these like nuances and tension points of going, if it makes someone feel better, isn't that okay? And can they also know that if they didn't get it, that they're still loved, that they're still valued, that they're still important? And can they hold both of those?
I think like with Botox and filler, especially, it's also just kind of like I used to get my lips filled and I used to think like, oh, I'm going to feel better after that. Yeah. And then I was kind of just like, I don't feel any different. Yeah. Actually. And
that's
it
good
hurts
to know.
So much.
So bad.
Yeah.
I know.
It hurts. I actually use products that help, you know, and it's, they're not as full as they were, but they're full enough that I'm kind of like, they're good. And I also know how to like, you know, make them look bigger with makeup. So that's fine for me. Yeah. I still get Botox. I think that the more people talk about it and share about it, there's nothing wrong with doing it if it makes you feel good. And same with, you know, posting selfies. It's like, you know, I think it's that balance of being like, I feel good and I want some attention. Yeah. You know, like I think about that a lot too, especially with dating. It's like, I need a lot of attention, and I know that. I'm not a needy person, though. I just want the attention. I want the sort of kind of like verbal affirmation, you know, and I want to feel good, and I can feel good on my own, but it also is nice when you tell me that.
Yeah. You know? I mean, look, we as humans like to be validated. And so like we shouldn't shame the impulse to be validated. It's just the nuance then of like, can I also feel self-fulfilled? Can I also be validating myself? Can I even receive the validation? Because that's a funny one. It's like if we're constantly in the hunger for validation, it might be that we actually aren't absorbing it as it is. And then we're constantly hungry.
Right. That's so true. Yeah. I think
was this the therapy you had in your dreams?
I mean, that's a really good point because I do think that being able to receive it is so important. And that's not something that I've recently thought about where I'm like, okay, am I able to take in the good things that are happening, the nice things that people are saying about me or about make? am I able to even notice the attention that I'm getting? You know, like right now I'm dating someone who I would consider like a unicorn in LA because he is. I know, and it's like almost. I'm just like, I don't know. That's not real. But I'm just like, no, actually, like you're a normal person in LA. There are other normal people here, and you know, he's so consistent. He communicates well. He is affectionate. He makes plans. Like all of these things, and here I am, like sitting over here, just being like, I wonder if he likes me. Like, why hasn't he asked me to be his girlfriend yet? And you know, one of my friends was like, how long has it been? I'm like, I don't know, 5 weeks. And she was like, okay, relax, you know? And I'm just like, oh, okay, you know? Yeah. But it's like, I'm also, you know, in a space of dating and relationships where I'm like building new behaviors and new patterns. So it's like, okay, maybe if I just sit for a second and I acknowledge that I feel impatient, but also like, just take a second to like take in what's actually happening.
That sacred pause. This show is also brought to you by the absolutely stunning and powerful tools of transformation that are created by Omala. Oof, even the name Omala transports you to a place of flow and vitality. These are some of my favorite products ever. They have an amazing color-changing yoga mat that responds to your temperature and presence and reflects back your posture in real time. There's this incredible smelling skin balm candle that heats up to activate all the essential oils and vitamins that your skin has been craving. I mean, look, if I could live in a giant bath of this candle, I would 100% do it. They also have these journals that lead you into profound insight, and then you get to plant those journals to create a stunning flower garden. What? I mean, if that's not deep and inventive, I don't know what is. If you're someone who desires to live a luxurious flow of life and who believes in transformative wellness, then you have to check out Omala. Omala is giving my listeners an exclusive discount to treat yourself to something that is as special as you, boo. All you have to do is go to omala.com, that's OMALA.com, and use the code DrScott10 at checkout. And a portion of every purchase goes to an incredible charity. You got this. So speaking of sacred pauses, I would like to not take a sacred pause and do something really fun with you. A game that I call, Carrie, will you dress me up in your love? And I have watched some of your videos on said social media, and I pulled out my old drag makeup kit of makeup.
Oh my God.
Makeup that hasn't been used is very likely to be expired from like 12 years ago when I was making my way through grad school as a drag queen. So I have a bunch of makeup, and I would love for you to give me a tutorial of some sort. I don't care what we do. I trust you. And so whatever we do, I will do it. I can't
believe that we didn't talk about you being a drag queen at all.
Oh, that's because I'm the host and I get to decide what we talk about when we talk about it. First of all, I was really shitty at makeup, and my drag mother, world famous Bob, came to me. She said the nicest thing. She didn't comment on it. She said, "Babes, I love you. I'm doing this makeup class. Do you want to come as my guest because I love you so much?" And I didn't realize until I got to the end of that class why she invited me, because I was just like, I had legs for days and makeup was a mess. So I have some 15-year-old mascara that was probably my mother's. I have this brushy thing for my eyebrows, I think. I have this white makeup. I have some, I don't even know if this company is still in business, Bare Minerals.
Oh, they are.
They are. Okay.
That specifically, though, that was such a moment. That ID, it's like a powder, right?
It's a powder. Foundation. It's a. I have a foundation that has SPF, so I can go out later and however you dress me up. I have
that
something
SPF
called
probably won't do much for you, but
no. Plus, I'm already tan. I have some. I don't know what this is. It says, it's called blush. I don't know if you've heard of that. I have a brush. I have these sticky things that I believe go under my eye or over my eye.
Oh yeah, like an eyeliner.
Yeah, one of those things. I have a scissors in case you're gonna.
Oh, those are cute.
You're gonna give me a haircut. It was actually my grandma's scissors.
Oh.
I have one fake eyelash. That's literally 20 years old, probably 15 years old. I have something in here which I don't know. It says.
Wait, what was your kind of drag look? Did you
clearly
have
very hot, right?
Yeah. I mean, that goes without saying.
I have some lipstick, and I also brought some strawberries and some blueberries because you never know how you're gonna. I never know how you're gonna dress me up in your love. So as you're tutorialing me, I will tell you about my drag look. So where should we start? I also have makeup remover. Should I start with that?
Do you have any makeup on?
No.
Oh, okay. Then you're probably good.
No, okay.
What color is your lipstick?
The one that I have.
Yeah.
This is chocolate.
Oh.
I might have other ones. I have a chocolate one. Oh, I have a Barbie pink. No, that's not Barbie pink. That's a rosé. I have. Oh, that's a little brush. This always reminds me. You know how do you have a dog?
Mm-hmm.
You know when is it a male dog? And they get that thing, like the brush that just pops up. It reminds me of a puppy.
I'm always like, put that away. No.
You say that to your dog? Oh, I have this chewed up purple lipstick. Somebody was chewing it. Here's another lipstick. I hope the audience is having a blast. This lipstick is what I would call maybe a classy red. I don't. What do we call that? I would call it. I think like a Julia Roberts red.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Is that what we're going for today?
I think so.
Okay.
I think we should do like brows and a flush cheek.
Okay.
And a lip.
Should we do a strawberry burn? Since I have strawberries.
Yeah, I've never actually put strawberries on my face though.
Well, I'm here for the experiment of being dressed up in your love. Where do we start?
Do you have something to brush your brows up with? I always start with brows.
You always start with brows. I have this little like Swiss Army knife of a comb and a brush.
Oh yeah. So I would just start brushing your brows up.
Okay. So up towards the sky.
You want to follow the direction of the hairs. So like these hairs on me sort of go up this way.
So on like a diagonal?
Yeah, like you want to sort of follow their natural. Like these are a little more straight on the ends, but the ones like in the sprouts sort of go up. And then these towards your temple. Okay.
I'm already feeling like I'm looking more like my Russian ancestors.
Brows are the easiest way to sort of like pull your, like to look awake. Not that you look tired, but just...
I'm tired. I was up late. I dated a celebrity eyebrow person whose name I won't mention. Yeah.
Okay.
And they said to me, "You have nice eyebrows." And I said,
"You do.
I will go on a date with you." And it didn't. Oh, I have strawberry in my teeth now. That's hot. Okay. Can I use the eyebrow thing to pick the strawberry out of my teeth like dental floss? Okay. Yeah. All right.
That's a big seed.
I know. That strawberry really attacked like the gap between my teeth here. Okay, I got it. Okay.
Don't forget this eyebrow, your other eyebrow.
Oh, okay. I will not forget. So my drag look was the less clothes, the better. So I would wear nothing, basically. I would make merkins. Do you know what a merkin is?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so it's like it's a wig that goes in your genital region. Except I would usually do origami shapes. and then glue them down there. And then I would wear like a fake mink coat, and that was kind of it. Or I had some other looks, but it was definitely the look was less is more. And I never wore a wig, rarely wore a wig, because I was really bad at hair. And I never shaved my beard. That was my rule. Everything else, hair be gone. I used, do you remember Nair? I used Nair back in the day.
So did I. It was so good. The Nair now is not the same.
I'm pretty sure that I shaved off 5 years of my life from using Nair.
Yes.
All right, so I've done my eyebrows. What is next?
Okay, so I would... Do you have any... Oh, you have a complexion, right? Like a foundation. What is that?
This is white. Because back in the day, when you did drag, you had to put like white as the base for everything.
Right.
I don't know what it is now. I'm not up to speed with the drag kids of today.
White makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But I think for this, maybe...
it's not even opened. Wow. We're opening it for the first time. How exciting is that?
I don't use white makeup, but...
when I dress you up with my love, we're doing all white. But I also don't know what I'm doing. So I have the foundation. I've tapped
you have a brush
it.
For it.
Is this brush okay? It's bigger than my face.
Yeah, that'll work. Okay. So I would just balance out your complexion with, just a little, wherever you have redness, I like to focus it in the center of my face.
Okay. I just want to say that this camera creates the redness. The redness isn't actually there.
Right.
It's not me, it's the camera. The camera adds redness and whatever else it wants to add. The camera is evil.
Pores. Yeah.
The camera loves to add pores.
It's a little too high def sometimes. I'm like, less.
Less, please. I know.
I miss the old iPhone cameras.
I do too.
That were blurry.
And like on Zoom, I didn't even get to choose, but they just put a filter on that smoothed me out. And I was like, oh yeah. First of all, I would like a choice, but second of all, thank you for choosing. All right. So I have I don't know if I've successfully done much, but I have rubbed a bunch of foundation that may or may not actually match my skin tone onto my face.
I can't really tell, but I think the general idea is
idea is here. Okay. Yeah. So moving forward, I have brushed myself silly. Now what? Dress me up in your love.
I think, should we do a lip? The red lip?
We should definitely do a red Julia. Was this it? I can't. Or was this it? No, this was it. So how do I do my lips? I used to just like suck on the lipstick and then move it around, but I'm pretty sure that's not how it's done.
Oh my god, I want to do it with you.
You're going to do it with me. Thank you.
Since I don't have a lip on.
And do you also have a strawberry in your fridge for our finishing touch on our nose?
I don't, but I have a strawberry blush. That will work.
Oh my gosh. Okay. You do the blush, I'll do the real thing, and we'll do a comparison of who's got the best sunburn. Okay.
So I like to start with my bottom lip first. I think it's easier.
That's this one.
Yeah, this one.
I don't know what I'm asking. I just want to confirm this is my bottom lip, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm starting with my bottom lip, and
so I like to just start here in the middle.
I start in the middle. Okay. And this does not look good. I think I messed up.
It's okay. We can fix it.
Okay,
it's just makeup.
You can. Oh, I love that. We'll just find a creative solution like we do in entrepreneurship. Like we'll just paint my entire face this color.
Yeah, or we can get a Q-tip.
Oh, okay. I don't think that is in. I have what is this? I have a chewing stick.
Oh, I don't know what that is either.
It's like to pick strawberries out of your teeth. I think I look like the Joker already, and I'm loving it.
How dry is that lipstick?
Well, it is 15 years old and has been sitting in a storage unit for that long.
So I love that.
Okay, so how far up do I go? Do I go into the crevices between bottom and the top lip. Why does yours look so much better than mine?
Well, mine's new.
Okay. There's that.
And I think, like, rather than going all the way up to, like, where the crease of your mouth, I just kind of, it naturally will go up there, especially once you, like, kind of do that.
I'm smacking my lips, and it's going to travel. It's going to migrate to the crevices.
Yes, which we want. Cause
we want the migration.
If you fill in, like, to that sort of crease, again, it's going to just, like, enhance, you know, everything that's there, and we don't really need that.
Okay. Do my lips look enhanced to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I feel and look like Julia Roberts to you?
We're close.
We're close. Okay. What more should we do?
I think that we should do the cheek.
The cheek, that's right. And are we doing cheeks? I have this thing called Kiss. And I have this blueberry, and I have this strawberry. Do you have a preference?
Do you think that strawberry juice will stain your cheeks?
I think anything at this point will stay on that 30-year-old foundation I just put on my skin. But I'm willing to try it. So I think, what do we think? Just smush it right into the zygoma, into the cheekbone, and then like swipe down?
I would just kind of
dabble.
Like, dab it in, yeah.
Dab it in.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day, wasn't like the original makeup like made from like berries and seeds and shit like that before we had fancy biotechnology?
Yeah.
So I feel like we're really going back to the roots of makeup and entrepreneurship by going, maybe I'll just sell strawberries as my makeup line.
Yeah, back to the source. It's trending.
We'll call it back to the source.
Yeah.
What do you think? Like, it's very rosy. It's very blood red.
Yeah.
And is this the right line that I'm following?
Yeah. So I think, you know, when we were growing up and people would be like, oh, apply blush by like smiling, you know, and like
smiling. Mm-hmm.
And doing that. Uh-huh. But if you know, you're not smiling all day consistently. So when when your face is just resting, then your blush comes down and it sort of pulls things down. Mm-hmm. So I like to not smile and sort of like keep my face very relaxed.
I also like to not smile.
Yeah, I mean, same. But then I sort of add the blush here because it lifts. And
so I'm swiping up a little bit.
It's brightening. Yeah. So
all the way up to my like hairline. I see.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah. So up kind of to the eyebrow line.
Yeah, because it just
it's very dramatic.
It just lifts.
I feel lifted.
Right?
I feel pretty. I feel what's that song? Whatever it is. All right.
Oh yeah.
Anyways,
I feel like I only know that line.
I know. I feel pretty. Done. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So are we gonna do our noses?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here comes the strawberry / makeup on the nose.
So
I look sunburned.
Right.
I look fucked sunburn.
Just
do you find me sexy?
Yeah. Look at you.
Wait, there's something youthful about strawberry juice making my nose redder than like.
Try to avoid the tip. Just do the bridge of your nose. That's how you avoid the root off. Okay,
so avoid the tip. I'm just gonna get some paper towel.
Great.
And wipe off the tip. Now, what if we use blueberries for eyeliner?
That might sting.
Okay.
If you get like blueberry juice in your eyes.
Have you had that happen before?
No, but I'm just kind of like assuming that it's not going to feel great.
Oh, okay. That is fair.
I support you if you want to try that. However,
all right,
it might burn.
All right, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna smush the blueberry ahead of time. I'm gonna stir it with this fancy brush right here that I have, and I'm gonna apply it. Where should I apply it? To my
I feel like you should start up here on the brow bone. Like right
underneath the brow, on the outer end. And so oh yeah, that's the stuff.
And just kind of like blend it
okay.
out.
I blend it by pushing my finger into the area.
Yeah, I feel like blending, it's like diffusing it a little. Mm-hmm. Unless you want a very strong line, which I don't.
Is that what's trending this week?
It's all trending.
It's all trending shit. That's hard to keep track of.
I know.
All right. So I have applied the blueberry juice to my under eye. I'm avoiding the crevice. So I'm just doing the upper area in case we want to do 2 colors.
Right.
I'm going to be so tasty after this.
Like mixed berry.
I'm going to be mixed berry yummies.
Yeah. Hey, that could actually be a trend, mixed berry.
Do you think we should just start making TikTok videos of us putting fruit on our face and just like back to the roots? This is going to trend hard. This is going to trend so hard. I'm more open to this than other trends I've heard that are actually really fucked up and dangerous. So,
oh yeah, some stuff on TikTok I'm like, why?
Please do not eat asbestos, kids. Please do not. It is not candy. It is not. It is not that shit you buy at the carnival. Mm-mm. All right, so I have blended said berry into my bridges, and there's a little bit of seeds that are sticking out, but I'm gonna blend in the seeds.
Maybe they look like freckles.
Do I want a freckle?
Well, maybe the seeds,
Oh, the seeds can be a freckle. I'll do the other side now because is symmetry still cool in makeup?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. So
I always say sisters, not twins, just to take the pressure off, but...
Sisters, not twins? What does that mean?
Like, my eyebrows will never, ever look identical,
Oh, I'm sorry.
But I do think it's fine. They're individuals.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Sisters, not twins. Okay, yeah. I love that. Don't be mad because I do have twins.
Oh, I'm not mad.
Okay, good. Okay, so I have blended the blueberry into my left eye as well. Mm-hmm. I am loving this look. I am fruitly trending. I am trending hard, and no one has seen it besides you.
Yeah.
And
I wonder if anyone except me will see it. Well, I guess
probably not.
Yeah.
We may or may not cut this. Who knows? But what matters is. You dressed me up in your love, and gosh, should I put on this one eyelid? What are these called again?
Eyelash.
Oh god, eyelash.
Is it like a full lash? Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, this lash.
Whoa, she's
got
a
me
big
kicked.
One.
Yeah, I stood outside the Met Gala with this lash. I didn't get to be let in. I just want to be very clear. But I stood outside with this lash, and she is trending too. And I'm pretty sure I just smushed it on. But you know what? I am going the asymmetry. I'm not inviting sisters to this party.
Yeah,
and I would say I feel completely dressed up in your love. And I feel like we have gone deep into a flow state with coming back to our roots of natural ingredients, which I know is important to you and your brand, and have fucking rocked it today.
Yeah. So
How fun. Thank you so much for being on the Gently Used Human. And my pleasure. And I'm going to be at your house in like 10 minutes with this look. And I can't wait for us to go out. We're going to go out. We'll go to Air One.
Yeah.
In this look. This is the look.
We'll show everyone where we got the inspiration.
Sure. We'll go to the produce aisle.
Mixed berry.
Exactly. Those $30 strawberries really lift the face and make it glowy. Yeah. Moist and glowy. Yes. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Oh my God, love it. Thank you so much, dear one. And how can people find you? Where can people find you?
I'm on Instagram, Carrie _Barber. and Make's account is Make Beauty Official. And same on TikTok. It's the same across. I only have those threads.
Find her.
I don't know if
Stalker. Get it.
Yeah, stalk
Get
me. I reply to all DMs. By the way,
you do? I'm going to challenge
Mm-hmm.
that. I'm going to just start sending bizarre DMs like, "Hey, what did you have for breakfast yesterday?" And I'm gonna test that out.
Okay, we'll test it.
Unless
someone is trying to, spam
Troll.
me, or sometimes I get some people who are obsessed with feet in my DMs, and I
get those people too. I do respond.
You do.
I do respond.
You're like, here's my Venmo.
No, I just send them a picture of my pinky finger.
Oh my God.
I know I should engage, but I'm just like, I think it's funny and I get a little laugh out of it, and hopefully they do too. And, I'm just trying to support all the gently used humans out there the best I can.
Yeah, and that one gently used eyelash.
This gently used eyelash from the Met Gala a la 2013.
Oh, she's lived a life.
She has lived a life. All right. Thank you so much, my love. Everybody go find and hang out with Carrie online and enjoy her brilliance and her trending forecast.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Thank you for listening to the Gently Used Human podcast with Dr. Scott Lyons and friends. Visit gentlyused.com for fun extras, including submitting your questions for advice from a Midwestern mom. And don't forget to spill the tea and gossip about the show with all your friends and frenemies. And you know what? Show us some love by giving us 5 stars and leaving a review in your favorite apps. This helps us connect with all the other gently used humans out there. Oh, and by the way, you look fierce today.